Hello, English learners. Welcome. Today, we will learn the story of the Eiffel Tower in simple English. Listen, repeat, and improve your English. If you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Part 1. The birth of the Eiffel Tower. In the middle of Paris, France, there is a very tall and famous tower. It is called the Eiffel Tower. People from all over the world come to see it. It is one of the most famous buildings on the planet. Every year, millions of tourists visit the tower, take pictures, and climb to the top to see the beautiful view of Paris. But the story of the Eiffel Tower is not only about its height and beauty. It is also about history, engineering, and courage. The Eiffel Tower was built in the late 19th century, during a time when Paris was growing and changing. The city wanted to celebrate a very important event, the 1889 World's Fair, Exposition Universelle. This fair was held to show new inventions, science, and art to people from all over the world. The organizers wanted a new and amazing building that would be a symbol of the fair and of France. They decided to build a metal tower, something that had never been done before. The man who designed the tower was Gustave Eiffel, a famous engineer. He had already built many bridges and structures in France. Eiffel wanted to create a tower that was strong, modern, and beautiful. The design was not easy. Many people did not like it at first. Some artists and writers said it was ugly and would ruin the view of Paris. They called it a monstrosity. But Eiffel and his team believed in their work. They were confident that one day, people would love the tower. The construction of the tower began in January 1887. Thousands of workers came to the site to help. The tower was made of iron, and it used more than 18,000 metal pieces. These pieces were connected with over 2.5 million bolts. The engineers had to be very careful. They worked high above the ground, sometimes hundreds of meters up. Many workers wore special safety equipment, but working on the tower was still dangerous. Despite this, the workers built the tower faster than expected. By the summer of 1889, the Eiffel Tower was finished. It was 300 meters tall, making it the tallest building in the world at that time. People could not believe it. The tower looked like a giant metal lacework. It was modern, elegant, and strong at the same time. When the first visitors arrived, many were surprised. Some still thought it was strange, but others were amazed. The Eiffel Tower was not only tall, it was also very functional. It had 3 levels for visitors. People could climb the stairs or use the elevator to reach the top. The top of the tower offered a wonderful view of Paris. Visitors could see the Seine River, the Champs-Élysées, the Arc de Triomphe, and many other famous places. It was a new way to see the city from above. The tower was opened to the public on March 31, 1889, a few months after the World's Fair began. Gustave Eiffel invited many important people and journalists to the opening. Everyone was curious. Some people were afraid that the tower might fall, but Eiffel proved that it was strong and safe. In fact, the design was so clever that it could resist strong winds and storms. Engineers studied it carefully and were impressed by how strong it was for its size. Over time, the Eiffel Tower became a symbol of Paris and France. At first, some people still criticized it, but gradually, everyone began to love it. Artists painted it, photographers took pictures, and writers wrote stories about it. Tourists started to travel to Paris just to see the tower. Today, it is one of the most visited monuments in the world, attracting millions of people every year. The Eiffel Tower is also a symbol of innovation. In the 19th century, it was a bold experiment. Many thought it could fail, but it succeeded. It showed that humans could build amazing structures using new technology. Gustave Eiffel's vision and courage changed the way people think about architecture. The tower proved that metal could be used not only for machines and bridges but also for art and beauty. At night, the tower becomes even more magical. Thousands of lights shine, creating a sparkling view. People love to take evening boat rides on the Seine River to see the tower glowing. The Eiffel Tower is no longer just a building, it is a symbol of love, history, and Paris itself. And so, the story of the Eiffel Tower begins, with a dream, a design, and the courage of engineers and workers. From a controversial idea to a world-famous monument, the tower shows what humans can achieve when they believe in their vision. Part 2. The construction and opening of the Eiffel Tower. After Gustave Eiffel and his team finished the design, the real challenge began, the construction of the tower. Building a 300-meter-tall structure in the 19th century was a very difficult task. Engineers had to work carefully to make sure the tower would be safe and strong. They also needed to finish it on time for the 1889 World's Fair, because the French government wanted the tower to be ready for visitors from all over the world. Thousands of workers came to the construction site. Some were experienced ironworkers, while others were young apprentices learning the trade. Each worker had a special job. Some measured the metal pieces, some assembled them on the ground, and others carried the pieces up the tower. The tower was made of over 18,000 metal parts, and more than 2.5 million bolts were needed to connect everything. The workers faced many difficulties. They had to climb hundreds of meters above the ground. There were strong winds, cold weather, and even heavy rain. Some workers were afraid, but they continued their work. Gustave Eiffel made safety a priority. He created special platforms, rails, and tools to protect the workers. Despite this, a few workers were injured, but no one died during the construction, a very rare achievement for that time. Day by day, the tower grew taller. The 4 large pillars were built first, forming the base. Then engineers carefully connected the metal beams, creating the famous lattice structure. It looked like a giant metal puzzle. People in Paris watched with curiosity. Many thought the tower would collapse, but others were amazed at its beauty and size. The construction also caused debate in the city. Some artists and writers called the tower ugly. They thought it would ruin the classic look of Paris. Letters were published in newspapers, and protests were held. Gustave Eiffel did not respond to the critics publicly. He trusted his engineers and believed in the design. He knew the tower would be admired in the future. By March 1889, the Eiffel Tower was finished. It took just over 2 years to build, a very short time for such a large and complex structure. The final piece was placed at the top, and Gustave Eiffel raised the French flag. People cheered, and many photographers took pictures. It was a proud moment for France, Paris, and Eiffel himself. The tower was officially opened to the public on March 31, 1889. Gustav Eiffel invited important guests, journalists, and officials to see it first. Visitors entered the tower and could use the elevator or stairs to reach the top. From there, they had a breathtaking view of the city. Paris looked like a small model from above. People could see the Seine River, bridges, gardens, and famous buildings all at once. The opening was also part of the 1889 World's Fair, a huge event celebrating science, industry, and culture. The Eiffel Tower quickly became the main attraction. Visitors from other countries admired the tower's design and modern technology. The elevators were a special wonder for many, because they carried people safely to great heights, something unusual at that time. Over the next weeks and months, the tower became a symbol of innovation. Engineers and architects from around the world studied it. They were amazed at how strong and stable it was, despite being made of lightweight iron. Gustav Eiffel gave interviews explaining how the design could resist wind and storms. He proved that metal could be used to create not only functional buildings but also works of art. Soon, the Eiffel Tower became more than a building. It became a cultural symbol. Newspapers wrote about it, artists painted it, and postcards with its image were sold throughout Europe. People started calling it the Iron Lady of Paris because of its elegance and strength. Over time, even the critics who had once hated it began to admire it. The tower also inspired science and experiments. Gustav Eiffel allowed scientists to use the top of the tower for weather observations, wind measurements, and radio experiments. In this way, the Eiffel Tower contributed not only to tourism but also to knowledge and technology. Today, the story of the Eiffel Tower's construction reminds people that vision, courage, and hard work can create something amazing. Workers, engineers, and Gustav Eiffel himself showed that it is possible to overcome fear, criticism, and difficulty to achieve something extraordinary. From the first bolt to the top piece, the Eiffel Tower stands as a testament to human skill and creativity. Its opening marked the beginning of a new era in architecture, and it became a global symbol of Paris, France, and modern engineering. Millions of visitors continue to climb it, admire it, and take photos every year, keeping its story alive for the world. Part 3. The Eiffel Tower through the years. After the Eiffel Tower opened in 1889, it quickly became one of the most famous landmarks in Paris. But the story of the tower did not end there. Over the next century, it experienced many changes, challenges, and even dangers. The tower grew to become not only a symbol of France but also a witness to history, wars, and innovations. In the early 20th century, some people still criticized the tower. They thought it did not fit the classic style of Paris. Some even wanted to destroy it after 20 years. Gustav Eiffel had a contract with the city, and he promised to keep the tower standing for 20 years. But he also had an idea: the tower could be used for science and experiments. Because of this, the city decided to keep the tower, and it survived longer than anyone had imagined. During World War I, the Eiffel Tower played an important role. The French army used it as a communication center. A radio transmitter on the tower helped the army send important messages. It is even said that the tower helped stop a German attack by allowing messages to reach the army faster than ever before. The Eiffel Tower, which was once just a tourist attraction, became a tool for national defense. In the 1920s and 1930s, the tower became more popular than ever. It attracted tourists from Europe and the United States. People climbed its stairs, took photographs, and admired the breathtaking views of Paris. Artists painted it in Impressionist and Modernist art, and it appeared in books, postcards, and films. It became a global symbol of Paris and romance, with the Seine River and city skyline creating a magical scene around it. During World War II, the Eiffel Tower faced another challenge. When Germany occupied Paris, the French army made sure the elevators were disabled. This action made it more difficult for German officers to use the tower. Hitler reportedly visited Paris, but he could not reach the top easily. In this way, the Eiffel Tower symbolized resistance and national pride. After the war, the Eiffel Tower continued to be a center of culture and celebration. It was repainted every 7 years to protect it from rust and wear. Engineers worked carefully to maintain the metal structure. Lights were installed to make it sparkle at night, creating a beautiful view for Parisians and visitors alike. Over time, the tower became famous for its evening illuminations, which attract millions of people every year. The tower has also been used for scientific experiments. Gustav Eiffel's idea of using the tower for research continued long after his death. Scientists measured wind, temperature, and air pressure. Radio and later television antennas were installed at the top, making it an important tool for communication. It was not just a tourist attraction, it became a scientific landmark. In the modern era, the Eiffel Tower has become a cultural symbol. It represents innovation, art, and French history. People celebrate New Year's Eve and other festivals near the tower. During international events, the Eiffel Tower is often lit with special colors. For example, during national holidays or global celebrations, the lights change to create special designs, showing its importance as a symbol of joy and unity. Tourists can now visit the tower all year round. There are restaurants, gift shops, and observation decks. People enjoy views of Paris from the first, second, and third levels. On clear days, visitors can see miles of the city, including famous landmarks like the Louvre, Notre Dame, and the Arc de Triomphe. It is a unique experience for both adults and children. The Eiffel Tower has survived over 130 years of history, including criticism, wars, weather, and millions of visitors. Its strength, design, and elegance have inspired architects, engineers, and artists around the world. It is now not only a symbol of Paris but also a symbol of human creativity and courage. The story of the Eiffel Tower through the years shows that a building can be much more than stone or metal. It can be a witness to history, a tool for science, and a symbol of national pride. The tower continues to stand tall, reminding people of what humans can achieve with vision, hard work, and determination. Part 4. The Eiffel Tower today and its symbolic meaning. Today, the Eiffel Tower is one of the most famous landmarks in the world. It is a symbol of Paris, France, and love. Millions of people visit the tower every year. Tourists come from Europe, America, Asia, and other continents to see its amazing design and enjoy the beautiful view of the city. The tower is not only a tourist attraction, but also a symbol of history, art, and innovation. Visitors can go to the first, second, and third levels. The first level has exhibitions and a small museum that explains the history of the tower. The second level has restaurants where people can enjoy French food while looking at the city. The third level, at the top, gives a breathtaking view of Paris. Visitors can see the Seine River, famous monuments like the Louvre, Notre Dame, and Arc de Triomphe, and the streets of the city stretching far into the distance. Many people say that seeing Paris from the top of the Eiffel Tower is unforgettable. At night, the tower becomes even more magical. Thousands of lights shine, making it sparkle like a giant jewel in the sky. On special occasions, the tower is lit with different colors. For example, during national holidays, international celebrations, or charity events, the lights change to blue, red, white, or other colors. People take photos, celebrate, and enjoy the beauty of the tower. It has become a center for celebrations in Paris. The Eiffel Tower is also a symbol of love. Couples often come to propose marriage or take romantic photos in front of it. The tower has been featured in many films, books, and postcards, making it famous all over the world. Tourists know that it is a romantic place, a symbol of dreams and hope. People remember the first time they saw it, and many say that it is a special memory for life. In addition to being a tourist destination, the Eiffel Tower is still used for scientific and technological purposes. Scientists use it to study wind, weather, and air quality. The tower also has radio, television, and mobile antennas at the top. These modern technologies make the Eiffel Tower useful in many ways, even more than 130 years after it was built. Gustave Eiffel would be proud to see how his creation still helps people today. The tower has survived storms, strong winds, and natural disasters, but it remains strong. Every 7 years, it is repainted to protect it from rust. Engineers and workers take care of the metal structure, ensuring it is safe for visitors. The Eiffel Tower is a symbol of strength and endurance, showing that careful work and attention can protect even very old buildings. For the people of Paris, the Eiffel Tower is more than a building. It is a part of the city's identity. Children grow up seeing it, and tourists remember it as the highlight of their trip. The tower represents French creativity, innovation, and culture. It is a place where history meets the present, and where people from different countries come together to admire beauty and art. The Eiffel Tower also inspires people. It shows that dreams can come true with courage, vision, and hard work. Gustave Eiffel believed in his idea even when others doubted him. Today, millions of people enjoy his vision every year. Artists, architects, engineers, and tourists are inspired by its design and elegance. The story of the Eiffel Tower is a story of history, art, love, and innovation. It reminds people that a single building can change a city and the world. From a controversial idea to a beloved global symbol, the tower continues to stand tall, shining over Paris and inspiring people everywhere. When you visit Paris, you can stand at the foot of the Eiffel Tower or look at it from the Seine River. You will see a tower of light, strength, and beauty. You will see the same view that millions of people have admired for over 130 years. And maybe, in that quiet moment, you will feel the spirit of Gustave Eiffel and all the people who built, loved, and preserved this amazing landmark.
The crew started to wake passengers and prepare the lifeboats, but there were not enough for everyone. On board, more than 2,200 people were now facing a terrible night at sea. The great ship that everyone believed could never sink was now fighting for its life in the freezing Atlantic waters. Part 3. The Night of the Sinking. After the Titanic hit the iceberg, most passengers still did not understand what had happened. The ship had stopped moving, and there was a quiet sound of water below. Some people came out of their rooms to look around. The air was very cold, and small pieces of ice were on the deck. Many passengers thought it was just a small accident. Some even played with the ice, laughing and taking it as a joke. No one imagined that the great Titanic was in serious danger. Down below, in the lower parts of the ship, the crew was already fighting to keep the water out. The iceberg had opened long cuts in the hull. The water rushed in fast, filling room after room. The ship's builders had said the Titanic could stay afloat if only 4 compartments were full of water, but now 5 were already flooding. This meant the ship would not survive for long. Captain Smith and his officers realized the terrible truth: the Titanic was going to sink. Captain Smith went to the wireless room and told the radio operators to send a distress call. They sent the letters CQD and SOS, which meant, "Help us." The message went out again and again: "We have struck an iceberg. Come at once." The nearest ship, the Carpathia, received the message, but it was more than 3 hours away. Another ship, the Californian, was closer, but its radio operator had gone to sleep. No one answered their call. On the decks, the crew began to wake the passengers and ask them to put on their life jackets. Many did not want to leave their warm rooms. They thought it was just a safety drill. Some laughed, saying, "This ship cannot sink." In the first-class area, elegant women and men came outside wearing coats over their fine evening clothes. In third class, families carried children and tried to understand what was happening. The ship's lights were still bright, and the band was playing calm music to keep people from panicking. Soon, the crew began to uncover the lifeboats. There were only 20 boats in total, enough for about half of the people on board. The designers had not wanted to fill the decks with too many boats because they thought the Titanic was safe. Now, that mistake became deadly. The officers started to fill the boats, but at first, many passengers refused to get in. They did not believe the ship was sinking. Some boats left with only a few people inside, while others still waited to be lowered. As the minutes passed, the front of the ship went lower and lower into the sea. The cold water was now rising through the lower decks. Passengers could hear strange sounds, the creaking of metal and the rush of water. The Titanic was slowly breaking apart. The crew tried to keep order, shouting, "Women and children first." They helped mothers and children into the boats, but many fathers stayed behind, saying goodbye with tears in their eyes. In the wireless room, Jack Phillips and Harold Bride kept sending messages for help. The Carpathia replied that it was on its way. Captain Smith knew it was too far. He told his crew to do their best and help as many people as possible. He walked quietly through the decks, checking everything, calm and brave. On the deck, the band continued to play music. The songs were soft and slow. Many passengers said that the final song was, "Nearer, my God, to Thee." The music gave some comfort to people who were afraid. The sky was full of stars, and the sea was black and freezing. Around midnight, the ship's front was deep underwater. The lifeboats were being lowered one by one, but there were still many people left on board. By 1:30 a.m., panic began to spread. The decks were crowded. Some passengers jumped into the sea, trying to swim to the lifeboats, but the water was below freezing. Most people could only survive a few minutes in that temperature. The lights on the ship started to flicker. Crew members shouted to keep calm, but many were crying and praying. Families held each other tightly. Some passengers stayed inside, others ran to the back of the ship, hoping to stay out of the water longer. At around 2 a.m., the Titanic's back end lifted high into the sky. People on deck could see the propellers rise above the water. There were terrible noises as things broke inside the ship. Some passengers slid down the decks as the ship tilted higher. A few minutes later, there was a loud roar as the Titanic's middle broke apart. The front sank quickly into the ocean, followed by the back. The great ship disappeared under the dark water. Everything became silent except for the cries of people in the water. Those in the lifeboats watched in shock as the ship went down. Many wanted to go back and help, but some officers were afraid that too many people would make the boats sink. Slowly, the cries grew quieter. The cold sea took hundreds of lives that night. In the end, more than 1,500 people died in the freezing Atlantic. Only about 700 survived, most of them women and children who had made it into the lifeboats. The night was calm again, but the sea was full of pieces of wood, floating chairs, and personal items. The unsinkable ship was gone forever. The survivors sat quietly in the lifeboats, shivering in the cold, waiting for the morning light. They looked at the empty ocean where the Titanic had been and could not believe what they had seen. The ship that had been called the greatest in the world now rested at the bottom of the sea. Part 4. Rescue and Legacy. After the Titanic sank, the night was cold and silent. The great ship had disappeared under the dark water, and hundreds of people were gone. The survivors in the lifeboats could hardly believe what had happened. They sat close together, trying to stay warm in the freezing air. The stars were bright above them, but the sea around them was black and full of small pieces of wood and broken things from the ship. Some people still cried out for help, but their voices grew weaker as the night went on. Inside the lifeboats, people were scared and tired. Many women and children were crying. Some were praying quietly. Others stared into the darkness, hoping to see another ship coming to save them. The crew members tried to keep everyone calm. They rowed the boats together so they would not drift too far apart. Every hour felt like forever. The cold wind made their hands and faces hurt. Many people could not feel their feet because they were so cold. Far away, the Carpathia, a smaller ship from the Cunard Line, was sailing as fast as it could toward the Titanic's last known position. Captain Arthur Rostron of the Carpathia had received the distress call around midnight. As soon as he heard it, he gave orders to change course and move at full speed. He told his crew to prepare blankets, hot drinks, and medical help for the survivors. The Carpathia pushed through the icy waters, dodging icebergs in the dark night. Everyone on board worked together to save as many lives as possible. At around 4 a.m., the first lifeboats were spotted by the crew of the Carpathia. The people on the lifeboats saw a light on the horizon and began to shout and wave. It was a moment of great relief. After hours of cold and fear, they finally saw hope. One by one, the lifeboats came closer to the Carpathia, and the survivors were lifted aboard. The crew gave them warm blankets, tea, and soup. Many were shaking and crying, too weak to speak. Some asked about their husbands or children who had been left behind, but the answers were heartbreaking. As the morning light came, the ocean became calm again. Pieces of ice floated on the surface, shining in the early sun. But the Titanic was gone. Nothing was left except for small bits of debris and a few empty lifeboats. The Carpathia continued to rescue people for several hours, picking up every survivor it could find. When all the lifeboats had been collected, the captain counted 705 survivors. Over 1,500 people had died in the disaster. The Carpathia turned toward New York City, carrying the tired and grieving survivors. During the trip, people comforted each other and shared stories of what they had seen. Some had lost their entire families. Others had survived only by chance. Crew members of the Titanic also told how brave the captain and officers had been. Many passengers remembered the ship's band, who had played music until the very end. When the Carpathia arrived in New York on April 18, 1912, thousands of people were waiting at the harbor. Reporters, doctors, and family members crowded the docks. Many people cried when they saw the survivors. They wanted to know what had happened to the unsinkable Titanic. Newspapers around the world printed the story on their front pages. Everyone was shocked and heartbroken. The disaster showed that even the greatest and most modern machines could fail. After the tragedy, many investigations began. People wanted to understand why so many lives had been lost. They learned that the Titanic had not carried enough lifeboats for everyone. They also discovered that some iceberg warnings had been ignored and that the ship had been traveling too fast in dangerous waters. Because of these lessons, new safety rules were created for ships around the world. Ships were now required to have enough lifeboats for all passengers and to keep their radios on all night, in case of emergencies. The story of the Titanic became one of the most famous in history. Books, movies, and songs were made about it. People were fascinated by the bravery, sadness, and mystery of that night. The wreck of the Titanic was finally found on the bottom of the ocean in 1985, more than 70 years later. It was discovered about 3,800 meters deep, lying quietly in the cold darkness of the Atlantic. Many of its parts were still there: the grand staircase, dishes, shoes, and pieces of furniture. Seeing these things reminded the world of the real people who had lived and died on the ship. Today, the Titanic is more than just a story about a ship. It is a symbol of human hope and human error. It reminds us that we should never think we are stronger than nature. It also shows the courage of those who faced death with dignity and helped others instead of themselves. In museums, people can see objects from the Titanic and read the names of the passengers who were on board. Some schools and teachers still tell the story so that we never forget what happened that cold April night. Even though the Titanic sank more than a century ago, its story still touches the hearts of people everywhere. It is a story of dreams and loss, of bravery and tragedy. The great ship that once was called unsinkable now lives forever in history as a lesson for all of us.
Financez votre prochaine passion avec Vinted. Grâce aux nouvelles catégories Vinted, vendez vos articles en lien avec vos anciennes passions pour financer ce qui vous fait vibrer aujourd'hui. Prenez votre article en photo, publiez-le, emballez et expédiez. Sur Vinted, à chaque passion sa catégorie. Commencez à vendre dès maintenant.
Hello everyone. Welcome to an easy English story. Today, we will learn about Sagrada Familia, one of the most famous and beautiful churches in the world, designed by Antoni Gaudí. Listen carefully and read along to practice your English listening and reading skills. Let's begin our journey through history, art, and English. Sagrada Familia. Part 1. History and Construction. The Sagrada Familia is one of the most famous buildings in the world. It is located in Barcelona, Spain. The name, Sagrada Familia, means Holy Family in Spanish. It is a large Catholic church that attracts millions of visitors every year. The construction of the Sagrada Familia began in 1882. The original architect started the work, but in 1883, Antoni Gaudí took charge and changed the design completely. Gaudí worked on the church for more than 40 years, until his death in 1926. Gaudí wanted the church to be very special. He combined religion, nature, and art in his design. The church has tall towers, beautiful facades, and many sculptures. Each part of the building tells a story from the Bible. Gaudí believed that a church should teach people about Christianity. The design is full of symbols and messages about faith, hope, and love. For example, the Nativity facade shows the birth of Jesus, while the Passion facade shows his death and resurrection. The church is very large. When it is finished, it will have 18 towers. Each tower has a special meaning. The tallest tower, the Tower of Jesus, will be 172 meters high. It will be the tallest church in the world. The other towers represent the Virgin Mary, the Apostles, and the Evangelists. The building is also designed to allow sunlight to enter in beautiful ways. The light makes the interior colorful and peaceful, creating a spiritual atmosphere for visitors and worshippers. Construction of the Sagrada Familia is very complex. Gaudí used new and creative techniques for his time. He studied geometry, nature, and engineering to create strong structures and beautiful shapes. Many parts of the church look like trees, mountains, and natural forms. Gaudí wanted people to feel close to God through nature. The columns inside the church look like tree trunks, and the ceilings look like branches. Visitors often feel amazed by the combination of architecture and nature. The church has faced many challenges during construction. Gaudí died in 1926, and the work continued under other architects. The Spanish Civil War caused some damage to the building, and parts of Gaudí's plans and models were destroyed. Despite these difficulties, architects and builders continued his work. Today, the construction continues with modern technology. Lasers, computers, and 3D models help to follow Gaudí's original vision. Even though it is unfinished, the church is already a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Sagrada Familia is not only a church but also a place of culture and tourism. People from all over the world come to admire its beauty. Artists, architects, and students study Gaudí's work. The church inspires many people to create and learn. It is a combination of faith, art, and human creativity. Visiting the Sagrada Familia is not only a religious experience but also an opportunity to see incredible architecture and design. Gaudí wanted the church to be funded by donations. Even today, the Sagrada Familia is mainly financed by visitor tickets and donations. This shows that the church belongs to the people. It is a community project that has lasted more than 140 years. Generations of builders, artists, and architects have worked to complete the dream of Antoni Gaudí. His vision continues to guide the construction and design of the church today. In conclusion, the Sagrada Familia is one of the most important buildings in the world. It was designed by Antoni Gaudí to be a place of worship, faith, and learning. Its towers, facades, and interior are full of beauty, symbols, and inspiration. Construction has continued for more than a century, showing the dedication of many people. The Sagrada Familia is not only a religious monument but also a symbol of human creativity, art, and devotion. When people visit, they can feel the history, faith, and amazing architecture that makes this church truly unique. Part 2. Life around the Sagrada Familia. The Sagrada Familia is not only a church, but it also affects the life of people in Barcelona. Many workers, architects, and artists have lived and worked around the church for more than 140 years. They help to continue the construction and maintain the building. These people use modern tools and old techniques to follow Gaudí's original design. Life near the Sagrada Familia has always been busy and full of activity because of the construction. Many visitors come to Barcelona to see the Sagrada Familia. Tourists come from all over the world. They take photos, walk around the building, and learn about its history. Tour guides explain the story of Gaudi, the symbolism of the facades, and the meaning of the towers.
Ha! Me win again! Mom like our dominoes. And her money sent with cash pickup.
Vind je ideale hotel met de app van Booking.com.
People admire the beauty of the interior, with its columns, stained glass, and natural light. Visitors feel amazed and inspired by the combination of art, faith, and nature in the church. The construction workers have a special life. They need patience, skill, and creativity. Some are masons, sculptors, or engineers. Others work on the decorations or study the original designs. Many workers live in the city and commute to the Sagrada Familia every day. They work with care to make sure that the building is safe and beautiful. Families of workers often feel proud to be part of the project that continues Gaudi's vision. Local residents also feel the presence of the church. Some people work in shops, restaurants, or hotels near the Sagrada Familia. Tourism brings money and jobs to the area. Many students and young people visit to learn about architecture, art, and history. School groups often come to study Gaudi's ideas and the church's design. The Sagrada Familia is not only a religious building but also a cultural and educational center for the city. The church hosts many religious events. Catholic worship services are held regularly. People come to pray, attend Mass, and celebrate special holidays like Christmas and Easter. Religious ceremonies make the church alive and active. Visitors who are not Catholic also enjoy the peaceful and inspiring atmosphere. The Sagrada Familia is a place where faith and culture meet, and where everyone can learn and reflect. Tourism and construction work together. The church continues to be built while millions of people visit every year. Some areas are closed for safety, but visitors can still see most parts of the building. Workers and guides explain how Gaudi designed the facades and towers. People can understand the long history of construction and the dedication of many generations. This combination of work and tourism makes the Sagrada Familia unique. Even the streets around the church are lively. Markets, cafes, and souvenir shops attract both tourists and locals. People meet, talk, and enjoy the city near the church. During holidays and festivals, the area becomes even busier. Street performers, artists, and musicians add to the atmosphere. Life around the Sagrada Familia is a mixture of culture, tourism, religion, and community. Visitors can feel the energy and history of the city when they walk in this area. In conclusion, life around the Sagrada Familia is full of work, learning, faith, and inspiration. Workers, artists, tourists, and local residents all contribute to the building's importance. The church influences daily life, education, and culture in Barcelona. Even though it is still under construction, it has become a central part of the city. People from all over the world can admire its beauty, learn about its history, and experience the unique environment that surrounds this magnificent building. Part 3. Legends and Mysteries. The Sagrada Familia is full of stories, mysteries, and amazing ideas. Antoni Gaudi was a very creative architect. He wanted the church to be like no other building in the world. He studied nature, geometry, and light to create a church that teaches people about faith and God. Many visitors are amazed by the unusual shapes, tall towers, and colorful windows. They wonder how Gaudi imagined all these details over 100 years ago. One of the most famous mysteries is the design of the towers. Gaudi planned 18 towers, each with a special meaning. The tallest tower represents Jesus, and others represent the Virgin Mary, the Apostles, and the Evangelists. Visitors often wonder how workers can build such tall towers safely. Architects today use computers and models to follow God's original ideas. It is a combination of science, art, and faith that continues to surprise people. Another interesting story is about nature in the church. Gaudi wanted people to feel close to God through nature. The columns inside the church look like tree trunks. The ceiling looks like tree branches. Sunlight passes through stained glass windows and makes colorful patterns on the floor. Visitors often feel peaceful and inspired by this design.
Geen probleem, boys. Ik pak de rekening wel. Split eenvoudig de rekening via de Revolut-app.
Gaudi believed that nature is a gift from God, and he wanted to show this in his work. There are also many symbolic sculptures and decorations. Every facade tells a story from the Bible. The Nativity facade shows the birth of Jesus. The Passion facade shows his suffering and death. The Glory facade, still under construction, will show the path to heaven. Each sculpture and detail has a meaning, and visitors can learn about Christianity by exploring them. These stories make the church a teaching place for faith and history. Some people also talk about hidden messages in God's work. He used numbers, shapes, and colors with special meanings. Some believe that the shapes of the towers and windows have spiritual significance. Others think the design shows the harmony of nature and religion. These ideas make the Sagrada Familia mysterious and exciting. Visitors enjoy discovering these details during tours and guided visits. Gaudi's personal story is also fascinating. He dedicated his life to the Sagrada Familia. He lived close to the construction site and worked every day on designs, models, and plans. People say that he considered the church his life's mission. After his death in 1926, many architects continued his work. They studied his notes and models to follow his vision. This dedication shows the power of creativity and faith combined. The Sagrada Familia also inspires legends and stories from visitors. Some people say that the church feels magical, especially when sunlight enters through the stained glass. Others feel a spiritual energy in the church, as it has been a place of worship for more than 140 years. These stories add to the charm and mystery of the building. Visitors often leave with unforgettable memories of both art and faith. In conclusion, the Sagrada Familia is full of legends, mysteries, and creative ideas. Gaudi's design, inspired by nature and faith, makes it one of the most unique buildings in the world. Its towers, facades, columns, and windows tell stories about Christianity, God, and the harmony of nature. Visitors are inspired by its beauty, amazed by its architecture, and curious about its hidden meanings. The Sagrada Familia is not only a church, it is a symbol of human creativity, faith, and imagination that continues to fascinate the world. Part 4. Today and its legacy. Today, the Sagrada Familia is one of the most visited buildings in the world. People from many countries travel to Barcelona to see its beautiful towers, facades, and interior. Visitors admire the stained glass windows, columns, and sunlight that fills the church. Even though it is still under construction, it is already a symbol of faith, art, and culture. Millions of people visit each year to learn about Gaudi and his vision. Earthquakes, weather, and pollution are challenges, but experts repair and protect the towers, sculptures, and walls. These preservation efforts ensure that future generations can enjoy and study the Sagrada Familia. Tourism plays a very important role. Visitors not only admire the church but also support its construction. Tickets and donations help fund the ongoing work. Local shops, restaurants, and hotels also benefit from the many tourists. Guides explain the history, architecture, and symbolism of the church. School groups, students, and artists often visit to learn from God's creativity. The Sagrada Familia is not only a religious site but also an educational and cultural center. The church continues to host religious services. Catholic masses are held regularly, and special celebrations occur during Christmas, Easter, and other religious holidays. Worshippers come to pray, attend Mass, and experience the spiritual atmosphere. Even visitors who are not Catholic enjoy the peaceful and inspiring environment. The combination of faith, art, and community makes the Sagrada Familia a unique place in the world. Sagrada Familia also inspires architects and artists worldwide. Its creative use of geometry, natural forms, and light shows how human imagination can create something lasting and beautiful. Modern buildings and churches often study its design for inspiration. God's combination of nature, religion, and art demonstrates how architecture can teach and inspire people for generations. The church shows that dedication and creativity can produce a monument that lasts centuries. The construction is still ongoing, and God's original vision guides the builders. The church is expected to be completed in the next few years. Architects and workers study God's models, drawings, and notes to finish the towers and facades according to his plan. This long-term work shows the dedication of many generations and the importance of preserving cultural heritage. It is a rare example of a building that connects the past, present, and future. In conclusion, the Sagrada Familia is a bridge between history, religion, and art. Its towers, facades, and interior show the skill, creativity, and faith of Antoni Gaudí and many workers who followed his vision. The church continues to inspire millions of visitors, students, and architects. It teaches about culture, architecture, and human creativity. Sagrada Familia is a living monument, a symbol of faith, and a treasure of human imagination. It reminds the world that art, religion, and dedication can create wonders that last forever.
Hello everyone, welcome to an easy English story. Today, we will learn about Hagia Sophia, one of the most famous and historic buildings in the world. Listen carefully and read along to practice your English listening and reading skills. Let's begin our journey through history and English. Hagia Sophia. Part 1. The History and Construction. Hagia Sophia is one of the most famous buildings in the world. It is located in Istanbul, Turkey. The name Hagia Sophia means holy wisdom in Greek. It was first built almost 1,500 years ago, during the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Emperor Justinian I wanted a very large and beautiful church in the city of Constantinople, which is now Istanbul. He wanted it to be the greatest church in the world and a symbol of the Christian faith. Construction began in 532 AD and finished in 537 AD. Two main architects, Anthemius of Tralles and Isidore of Miletus, designed the building. They created a unique structure with a huge central dome. The dome is very wide and very high. At the time, it was the largest dome in the world. The architects used special techniques with bricks and mortar to make the dome strong and stable. The dome seems to float in the air, and sunlight enters through many windows, creating a beautiful effect inside the building. Hagia Sophia was a Christian church for almost 1,000 years. It was the main cathedral of the Byzantine Empire and a place for important ceremonies. Emperors, bishops, and many people visited it for worship and special events. The walls and ceilings were decorated with mosaics, which are pictures made of small pieces of colored glass or stone. These mosaics showed Jesus, the Virgin Mary, saints, and other important figures of Christianity. The building was not only a place of prayer, but also a work of art and culture. After 1453, the city of Constantinople was conquered by the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II entered the city and decided to convert Hagia Sophia into a mosque. It remained a mosque for almost 500 years. During this period, Islamic features were added. 4 minarets were built outside the building. Inside, Islamic calligraphy with verses from the Quran was added. The mosaics of saints were covered in some places to respect Islamic beliefs. Hagia Sophia became a symbol of Islam and continued to be one of the largest and most important buildings in the world. Hagia Sophia is not only important for religion, but also for architecture. Its combination of a large dome, tall arches, and open space inspired many other buildings. Ottoman architects, for example, used its design when they built famous mosques like Süleymaniye Mosque and Blue Mosque in Istanbul. The building shows how knowledge of engineering and art can create something beautiful and lasting. It is also a symbol of human creativity and skill. The building also has cultural and historical significance. It witnessed many events, wars, and changes of empires. Many historians and travelers have admired its beauty. It is a place where different cultures and religions meet. Today, people from all over the world visit Hagia Sophia to see its history, architecture, and art. It is a museum and a symbol of coexistence and respect. Even though Hagia Sophia has changed many times, from a church to a mosque, then a museum, and today it functions again as a mosque, it continues to inspire people. It is a connection between the past and the present. The building reminds people of history, art, religion, and human achievement. It is not only a religious place but also a monument of culture and knowledge. In conclusion, Hagia Sophia is one of the most important historical buildings in the world. Built by the Byzantine Empire, it served as a church, then a mosque, and now it is a place of worship and culture. Its unique dome, mosaics, and architecture show the skill of ancient builders. It represents both Christian and Islamic history in Istanbul. Hagia Sophia is a place where people can learn about religion, history, art, and the creativity of human beings. Part 2. Life around Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia has always been more than a building. People lived and worked around it for centuries. During the Byzantine period, priests, bishops, and church workers visited it every day. People from the city of Constantinople came to pray and attend ceremonies. Important events, such as the coronation of emperors, happened inside Hagia Sophia. The building was a center of religion, culture, and daily life in the city. Many families lived near Hagia Sophia. Merchants, craftsmen, and workers had shops and homes close to the building. They sold food, clothes, and religious items to the visitors. Some people worked for the church or later for the mosque. They cleaned, maintained, and helped in ceremonies. Life around Hagia Sophia was busy and full of activity. Festivals and holidays brought many people together, creating a strong sense of community. During the Ottoman period, Hagia Sophia became a mosque. Religious life continued, but with Islamic practices. Muslims prayed 5 times a day. The call to prayer, or adhan, was announced from the minarets. People learned about Islam, the Quran, and religious traditions there. Scholars and teachers visited to study religion and architecture. Mosques often included schools, libraries, and small markets around them. Hagia Sophia became a spiritual and social center for the people. Pilgrims and travelers also visited Hagia Sophia. Some came from far away to see the famous building and pray. They admired the mosaics, the dome, and the marble floors. Many wrote letters or books describing what they saw. People from different cultures and religions respected Hagia Sophia. Even though it was originally a church, it became an important place for Muslims after 1453. Its history and beauty attracted people for many generations. Daily life around Hagia Sophia was a mix of work, religion, and education. Farmers, merchants, and workers interacted with visitors and worshippers. Craftsmen repaired the building and maintained the mosaics. Scholars studied the architecture and wrote about its history. Children learned about religion, art, and culture by visiting Hagia Sophia with their families. It was a place where people could learn, pray, and share knowledge. Festivals and special events were important. During Christian times, major holidays such as Easter were celebrated. After it became a mosque, Muslim holidays like Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha were observed. The celebrations included prayers, gatherings, and social activities. People felt connected to the building and to each other. Hagia Sophia was not just a monument, it was a part of daily life, culture, and faith. Even today, the area around Hagia Sophia is lively. Tourists visit from all over the world. Locals still come to pray and enjoy the historical site. Museums, shops, and guides provide information about its history and architecture. The surrounding streets are full of energy, just as they were centuries ago. People can imagine the life of workers, worshippers, and scholars who lived there in the past. Hagia Sophia also shows how religion and culture can coexist. It was built as a Christian church, became a mosque, and later a museum. Today, it functions as a mosque again. This history shows respect for both traditions. People of different faiths have admired its beauty, studied its architecture, and learned from its history. The building is a symbol of tolerance, learning, and human creativity. In conclusion, life around Hagia Sophia was full of activity, learning, and faith. Families, workers, scholars, and worshippers all contributed to its importance. The building influenced daily life, education, and religious practice in the city. Today, visitors can feel the energy and history of the area, and they can imagine the many generations of people who lived, worked, and prayed near Hagia Sophia. It remains a center of culture, history, and spirituality in Istanbul. Part 3. Legends and Mysteries. Hagia Sophia is full of history, beauty, and mystery. For many centuries, people have been amazed by its size, dome, and decorations. Travelers, historians, and scholars have written stories and legends about the building. Even today, people are curious about its secrets. These stories make Hagia Sophia more interesting and show how humans admire art, architecture, and faith. One famous story is about the dome of Hagia Sophia. When the building was first completed in 537 AD, the dome was very large and high. People wondered how it could stay up without falling. The dome has special supports called arches and pendentives, which hold the weight and create open space below. Many visitors thought it was a miracle that such a heavy structure could float above the floor. This story is often told to show the genius of the Byzantine architects, Anthemius and Isidore. Another mystery is about the mosaics inside Hagia Sophia. The mosaics show religious figures, emperors, and important events. Some of them are very detailed and beautiful. During the Ottoman period, some mosaics were covered with plaster to respect Islamic beliefs. Later, some mosaics were discovered again and carefully restored. People wonder how the mosaics have survived for more than 1,000 years, despite earthquakes and changes in the building. Their survival is a small miracle of history and art. There are also legends about Emperor Justinian. Some stories say that he wanted Hagia Sophia to be the greatest church in the world. He wanted to impress both the people of Constantinople and foreign visitors. Legend tells that when the church was completed, Justinian said, "Solomon, I have surpassed you." This means he wanted to show that Hagia Sophia was greater than the famous Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. This story shows the pride and ambition of the emperor and the importance of Hagia Sophia in history. Another interesting story is about the building's earthquakes. Istanbul is located in an area with many earthquakes. Over the centuries, the dome and walls of Hagia Sophia were damaged several times. Builders repaired the dome many times to make it stronger. Some visitors say that the building seems to rise again after each earthquake. This idea makes Hagia Sophia a symbol of endurance and strength. It teaches people that careful planning and skill can help buildings survive for centuries. Some people are also curious about hidden chambers and treasures. Over many years, historians have searched for secret rooms or artifacts inside Hagia Sophia. While there are no big treasures, many interesting items, inscriptions, and architectural details have been found. Each discovery helps us understand how the Byzantine and Ottoman builders worked. These secrets make visitors feel like they are exploring history and learning about the past. Hagia Sophia also has a special atmosphere. People feel calm and inspired when they enter the building. The combination of light, space, and decorations creates a unique experience. Sunlight passes through the windows in the dome, making the interior look magical. Many visitors say that the building has a spiritual energy, because it has been a place of worship for both Christians and Muslims for centuries. This feeling is part of the mystery and charm of Hagia Sophia. The building's history also inspires stories about cultural coexistence. It has been a church, a mosque, and a museum. Today it is a mosque again. People of different religions and cultures have admired it, studied it, and visited it for generations. The legends, mysteries, and architecture together show how humans respect art and history across religions. Hagia Sophia is a place where faith, culture, and creativity meet. In conclusion, Hagia Sophia is not only a historical and religious building but also a place of stories and mysteries. Its dome, mosaics, and walls have inspired people for centuries. Visitors admire its architecture, learn about its past, and imagine the lives of people who built and prayed there. The legends of Hagia Sophia make it more than a building. It is a symbol of human skill, creativity, and faith. It continues to fascinate the world with its beauty and secrets. Part 4. Today and its legacy. Today, Hagia Sophia is one of the most visited buildings in the world. People come from many countries to see its beautiful dome, walls, and decorations. Visitors admire the mosaics, the marble, and the tall minarets. Hagia Sophia is not only a religious building but also a symbol of history and culture. It attracts tourists, students, and researchers from around the world. The building is carefully protected and maintained. Architects and engineers work to repair the dome, walls, and floors. Earthquakes, weather, and time have caused damage over the centuries. Experts use modern technology to study Hagia Sophia and protect it. They use lasers, scans, and careful measurements to ensure that the building remains strong. These efforts help preserve the history and beauty of Hagia Sophia for future generations. Hagia Sophia is also important for education. Students, teachers, and researchers study its architecture, mosaics, and history. Schools and universities use it as a real example of Byzantine and Ottoman culture. Scholars study the building to understand construction techniques, religious traditions, and artistic styles. Visitors can also learn about its history, from the time it was built by Emperor Justinian to its role as a mosque in the Ottoman period. Tourism is very important for Hagia Sophia and the city of Istanbul. Millions of visitors come every year. Local guides explain the history and details of the building. Tourists take photos, visit nearby museums, and learn about ancient and modern Istanbul. Tourism helps the local economy and spreads knowledge about Hagia Sophia and Turkish culture. It also encourages respect for history and heritage. Hagia Sophia is a symbol of cultural coexistence. It has been a Christian church, a mosque, and a museum. Today, it functions as a mosque again. People of different religions and cultures admire its architecture and history. The building shows how different traditions can share a single space. It is an example of respect, understanding, and learning from the past. Modern research continues to reveal new facts. Scientists study the structure of the dome, the mosaics, and hidden details in the walls. Archaeologists examine the surrounding area to learn about the people who built and maintained Hagia Sophia. Even after centuries, the building continues to teach us about art, religion, and history. These discoveries show that Hagia Sophia is more than a building, it is a living history lesson. Hagia Sophia also inspires architects and artists today. Its combination of a large dome, open space, and detailed decoration has influenced many other buildings. Mosques, churches, and even modern buildings have learned from its design. Hagia Sophia demonstrates how creativity, skill, and planning can produce a monument that lasts for thousands of years. It is a source of inspiration for people around the world. In conclusion, Hagia Sophia is a bridge between the past and the present. It teaches us about Byzantine and Ottoman history, religion, art, and architecture. Its dome, mosaics, and minarets show the skill and creativity of ancient builders. Hagia Sophia remains a place of worship, learning, and admiration. It is a symbol of cultural heritage, human achievement, and coexistence. People from all over the world can visit, learn, and feel inspired by this magnificent building. Hagia Sophia is truly a treasure of human history. Hello everyone, welcome to an easy English story. Today, we will learn about the Pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza, two of the most famous wonders of the world. Listen carefully and read along to practice your English listening and reading skills. Let's begin our journey through history and English. The Pyramids and the Great Sphinx of Giza. Part 1. The History. The Pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza are some of the most famous monuments in the world. They are part of ancient Egypt and have been standing for more than 4,000 years. These buildings are not only very old, but they are also very large and impressive. People from all over the world come to see them. They show the skill, intelligence, and power of the ancient Egyptians. Today, they are also called one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Long ago, Egypt was a kingdom ruled by pharaohs. Pharaohs were the kings and rulers of Egypt. They were considered very important and sometimes even as gods. They wanted to be remembered forever. That is why they built pyramids as their tombs. The pyramids were not just simple graves. They were designed to protect the body of the pharaoh and to hold treasures for the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians believed in life after death. They thought the pharaoh's spirit would continue to live in the next world, and the pyramids helped this journey. The largest pyramid is called the Great Pyramid of Khufu. It was built about 4,500 years ago during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. The Great Pyramid was the tallest building in the world for over 3,800 years. It is made of millions of limestone and granite blocks. Each block weighs several tons. We do not know exactly how the ancient Egyptians moved these heavy stones. Some scientists think they used ramps, levers, and very careful planning. Other smaller pyramids were built nearby for other pharaohs, like Khafra and Menkaure. Together, these pyramids form the famous Giza Pyramid Complex. Next to the pyramid stands the Great Sphinx of Giza. The Sphinx is a very large statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human. Some historians believe the head represents Pharaoh Khafra. The Sphinx is made of limestone and is carved directly from the bedrock. It is about 73 meters long and 20 meters high. The Sphinx is very old and is considered a guardian of the pyramids. People have wondered for centuries why it was built and what secrets it holds. Its face shows calmness and power, and its body is strong and large like a lion. It is a symbol of strength and mystery. The construction of the pyramids and the Sphinx required thousands of workers. Many were skilled workers, craftsmen, and engineers. Others were farmers who worked on the pyramids during the Nile River's flooding season, when farming was not possible. Building these monuments took years and careful planning. The Egyptians used advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. They measured the stars and aligned the pyramids with the directions of the compass. This shows how intelligent and organized they were. The pyramids were not only tombs, they were also part of a religious and cultural system. Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was the link between humans and gods. Temples, statues, and the pyramids all showed respect for gods and the pharaoh. Many items were placed inside the tombs, such as jewelry, food, tools, and furniture. These items were meant to help the pharaoh in the afterlife. The walls of some pyramids were decorated with inscriptions and drawings, called hieroglyphs, that told stories about the pharaoh's life and achievements. Over the centuries, many travelers and historians have been fascinated by the pyramids and the Sphinx. Ancient Greek historians wrote about them more than 2,000 years ago. Later, during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, European explorers also visited them. They were amazed by their size, precision, and beauty. Even today, scientists and archaeologists study them to understand how they were built and what life was like in ancient Egypt. Despite the passage of time, they still inspire curiosity and admiration. The pyramids and the Sphinx are not just monuments. They are part of human history. They teach us about ancient Egyptian civilization, religion, and culture. They show the abilities of people who lived thousands of years ago. When we look at these monuments, we can imagine the life, beliefs, and efforts of ancient Egyptians. The Great Pyramid, the smaller pyramids, and the Sphinx together form a remarkable sight that continues to attract millions of visitors every year. They are truly a wonder of the world. In conclusion, the pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza are symbols of history, culture, and human achievement. They were built to honor pharaohs and gods, to protect the dead, and to show the power of ancient Egypt. They remain today as a testament to human skill, creativity, and faith. Every stone tells a story of dedication and knowledge. Standing in front of the pyramids or the Sphinx, people can feel the greatness of the past and the mysteries that continue to fascinate the world. Part 2. Life around the pyramids. The pyramids of Giza were not built in empty deserts. Thousands of people lived and worked near them. These people included skilled workers, farmers, craftsmen, and even soldiers. They all played an important role in the construction and protection of the pyramids. The workers' villages were close to the pyramid complex, where they could rest, eat, and live during their long hours of work. Life near the pyramids was very busy and full of activity. The workers who built the pyramids were not slaves, as some people think. Many were farmers who worked on the pyramids during the Nile River's flooding season. When the fields were underwater, farming was impossible, so the pharaohs asked the farmers to help build the monuments. Skilled workers, like stonecutters, masons, and engineers, worked all year. They lived in villages made of mud bricks, with simple homes and common areas. Food, water, and medical care were provided for them. Archaeologists have found evidence of bakeries, workshops, and even small hospitals near the pyramids. Families also lived near the pyramids. Women cooked meals and took care of children while the men worked. Children played in the streets and helped with small tasks. Life was difficult because the desert could be very hot during the day and cold at night. However, the villages were full of cooperation. People shared work and helped each other. This teamwork was very important to finish such large monuments. The pyramids were built carefully and slowly, year by year, generation by generation. The pyramids were part of the religious life of Egypt. The Egyptians believed in gods, goddesses, and the afterlife. They thought the pharaoh was a god on earth. The pyramids were tombs for the pharaohs and treasures for their journey after death. Priests and officials worked near the pyramids to perform rituals and protect sacred objects. They made offerings of food, wine, and incense. They also wrote inscriptions on the walls, called hieroglyphs, to record the life and achievements of the pharaoh. The pyramids were, therefore, not only homes for the dead, but also centers of religion and culture. Trade and supply were also part of life near the pyramids. Food, stone, and tools had to be transported from other parts of Egypt. Workers carried stones from quarries and brought limestone, granite, and other materials. Boats sailed on the Nile River carrying goods. Traders visited the villages to sell food, clothes, and everyday items. Markets were small but busy, with people speaking, trading, and exchanging ideas. Life around the pyramids was a mix of hard work, religion, and community. The Great Sphinx also played a role in daily life. It was considered a guardian of the pyramids. People believed that the Sphinx protected the pharaoh's tombs from evil spirits. Priests performed rituals near the Sphinx, and travelers often stopped to admire it. The Sphinx was a symbol of strength and wisdom, and it reminded people of the power of the pharaoh. Its presence made the pyramid complex not only a burial site but also a sacred and protected area. Life near the pyramids was not easy. The work was hard, the desert was harsh, and the days were long. Yet, the workers were proud. They knew they were part of something important and eternal. Each stone they placed, each block they moved, contributed to a monument that would last for thousands of years. The pyramids and the Sphinx were more than buildings. They were a testament to human effort, organization, and skill. Even after the pyramids were completed, life continued around them. People maintained the pyramids and the Sphinx, repaired damages, and continued rituals. Generations of Egyptians grew up with these monuments. They learned history, religion, and culture by observing and participating in the activities around the pyramids. The pyramids were, and still are, a center of learning and admiration. They inspired art, stories, and traditions that lasted for centuries. In conclusion, life around the pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza was a combination of work, religion, and community. Workers, families, priests, and traders all contributed to the monument's construction and protection. The pyramids were not only tombs but also symbols of Egyptian culture and civilization. Today, we can imagine the busy life of thousands of years ago and appreciate the incredible organization, skill, and faith of the people who lived near these ancient wonders. Part 3. Legends and Mysteries. The Pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza have amazed people for thousands of years. They are not only large and beautiful, but they are also full of mysteries. People have always asked questions about them. How were the huge stones moved? Why were the pyramids built in that exact way? Who really designed the Sphinx? These questions make the pyramids and the Sphinx very interesting for historians, scientists, and tourists. One of the most famous legends is about the Sphinx's missing nose. Long ago, people wondered why the Sphinx does not have a nose. Some stories say that it was broken by invaders. Other stories suggest it was damaged by soldiers or even by natural erosion over time. Nobody knows exactly what happened. The missing nose adds to the mystery of the Sphinx. It makes people curious and creates many interesting stories about ancient Egypt. Another mystery is about the construction of the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Khufu has millions of stones. Each stone weighs several tons. Scientists are not completely sure how the ancient Egyptians moved and placed them so precisely. Some believe they used ramps made of mud or stone. Others think they used levers and ropes. There are also theories that the Egyptians used water to move the stones. Even today, engineers study these ideas to understand how humans built such a huge monument without modern machines. There are also legends about treasures hidden inside the pyramids. For centuries, people believed that gold, jewelry, and important objects of the pharaohs were still inside the pyramids. Tombs were discovered with treasures, but some chambers are empty. Many people have tried to find secret rooms or hidden passages. Modern technology, such as radar and scanning, has discovered unknown spaces, but most secrets of the pyramids are still not fully explained. This makes them exciting and mysterious even today. The pyramids and the Sphinx are also linked to the stars. Ancient Egyptians studied astronomy carefully. The pyramids were built with precise alignment to certain stars. Some scientists believe that the three main pyramids of Giza are aligned with the three stars in Orion's belt. Orion was associated with Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife. This connection between the pyramids and the stars shows the Egyptians' advanced knowledge of astronomy and religion. It also adds a mystical aspect to these monuments. Legends also tell stories about ghosts and spirits. Ancient Egyptians believed in life after death. They thought the pharaohs' spirits continued to live inside the pyramids. Some people say that during the night, the pyramids are full of energy and mystery. Visitors often feel a special atmosphere when they are near the Sphinx. The calm face and the strong lion body seem to watch over the desert. For many people, this makes the Sphinx alive in their imagination. The pyramids have inspired stories in many cultures. Ancient Greek historians wrote about them, and travelers from Europe and Asia told their tales for centuries. Modern books, movies, and documentaries also discuss the pyramids' mysteries. Writers imagine secret codes, alien visits, or hidden knowledge. While many of these stories are fictional, they show how humans are fascinated by the size, beauty, and intelligence behind the construction of the pyramids and the Sphinx. Despite the legends and mysteries, the pyramids also teach real history. Archaeologists study the workers' villages, tools, and inscriptions to understand ancient life. Hieroglyphs in some tombs tell stories about the pharaohs, their families, and religious beliefs. The pyramids are therefore both real monuments and symbols of imagination. They show the skill, religion, and culture of one of the greatest civilizations in history. The Great Sphinx of Giza, in particular, represents wisdom and strength. It guards the pyramids and reminds people of the power of the pharaohs. Its large size and unique shape make it one of the most recognized statues in the world. Even though we do not know all of its secrets, it continues to inspire curiosity and respect. People from all over the world come to see it, take photos, and imagine what life was like thousands of years ago. In conclusion, the pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza are full of legends, mysteries, and stories. They have fascinated people for thousands of years and continue to do so today. Their construction, purpose, and secrets are still studied by scientists and enjoyed by visitors. They are not only monuments of stone, They are monuments of human imagination, culture, and intelligence. The pyramids and the Sphinx show how humans can create wonders that last forever and continue to inspire curiosity around the world. Part 4. The Pyramids Today and Their Legacy. Today, the Pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza are some of the most visited and studied monuments in the world. Millions of tourists travel to Egypt every year to see them. They come to admire the size, beauty, and history of these amazing structures. The Great Pyramid, the smaller pyramids, and the Sphinx continue to inspire people from all over the world. They are not only ancient buildings, they are symbols of human creativity and achievement. The pyramids and the Sphinx are very old. They are more than 4,500 years old. Because of their age, many parts of the monuments are damaged by wind, sand, and time. Archaeologists and engineers work to protect and restore them. They repair broken stones, clean surfaces, and prevent erosion. Modern technology, such as lasers and digital scanning, helps scientists study the pyramids carefully without causing damage. These preservation efforts are very important to keep the monuments safe for future generations. Tourism plays a big role in the life of the pyramids today. Visitors can walk around the pyramid complex, take photos, and learn about ancient Egypt. Many guides explain the history of the pharaohs, the construction of the pyramids, and the mysteries of the Sphinx. Museums near the site display artifacts, tools, and models of the pyramids. Tourism helps the local economy and also increases global knowledge about these wonders. Visitors feel amazed when they see the huge stones and the precise architecture up close. Education is another important aspect. Schools, universities, and online programs use the pyramids to teach history, architecture, and culture. Students learn about ancient Egyptian religion, society, and technology. Archaeological discoveries are shared through books, videos, and documentaries. The pyramids and the Sphinx provide a real connection to the past. They allow students and learners to imagine life in ancient Egypt and understand the achievements of one of the world's greatest civilizations. The pyramids are also part of the cultural heritage of humanity. UNESCO has declared the Giza Pyramid Complex a World Heritage Site. This recognition means that the pyramids are valuable not only to Egypt but to the entire world. Countries and organizations cooperate to study and protect them. They are a symbol of knowledge, history, and human creativity. Every year, scientists, historians, and students from around the world come to Egypt to learn and explore these incredible monuments. Modern research continues to reveal new facts. Scientists study the alignment of the pyramids with the stars and the design of the Sphinx. They try to understand the construction methods, the purpose of hidden chambers, and the lives of the workers. Even though we have learned a lot, many mysteries remain. This is one reason why the pyramids and the Sphinx remain exciting and fascinating today. They are both historical and scientific treasures. The pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx also remind us about human effort and teamwork. They were built without modern machines, yet they still stand strong. They show how people with vision, planning, and cooperation can create something that lasts for thousands of years. They inspire architects, engineers, and artists today. They remind us that determination and skill can produce wonders that are remembered forever. In conclusion, the pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx of Giza are much more than ancient monuments. They are a bridge between the past and the present. They teach us about history, religion, art, and culture. They show the intelligence, faith, and creativity of ancient Egyptians. Today, they continue to inspire, educate, and amaze people from all over the world. They are truly one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and their legacy will continue for generations to come.
Dit verandert echt alles voor zelfstandigen. Vanaf 2026 moet je verplicht je facturen via Pippel versturen. Klinkt ingewikkeld, I know, maar no worries. Ik gebruik hier Accountable voor en zij regelen alles. In 2 kliks zijn je ingeschreven bij Pippel en dan worden je facturen automatisch verstuurd via Pippel. Dus als je nog geen Pippel ready...
Hello everyone. Welcome to an easy English story. Today, we will learn about one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Great Wall of China. Listen carefully and read along to practice your English listening and reading skills. Let's begin our journey through history and English together. The Great Wall of China. Part 1. The beginning of a wonder. The Great Wall of China is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It is not just a wall, it is a symbol of history, culture, and the power of human hands. When people hear the name, the Great Wall, they imagine a long, strong wall that crosses mountains and deserts. But many people do not know how it really began. The story of the Great Wall starts more than 2,000 years ago, when China was a land of many small kingdoms. Long ago, before China became one country, there were many states and kings. These small kingdoms often fought each other for land, power, and safety. In the north, there were nomadic tribes who lived on wide grasslands. They were good horse riders and strong warriors. These tribes, such as the Xiongnu, often attacked the villages in China. They took food, animals, and goods, and they scared the people living near the borders. Because of this danger, some kings decided to build walls around their lands. These early walls were made of earth and wood. They were not very tall, but they helped to slow down the enemy soldiers. The people could have time to prepare for battle or to hide in safe places. Over many years, more and more walls were built in different parts of northern China. If you looked from far away, these walls looked like brown snakes lying on the hills. Still, they were not one long wall yet. Each kingdom had its own wall. Then came a strong and ambitious leader, Qin Shi Huang, the king of the state of Qin. He had a dream to unite